again, it's, I suppose, touching on the Spanish keepers, which kind of brings me into what I was going to talk to you next. Was, you know, we mentioned a few standout keepers that were role models of sorts over, I suppose the one you mentioned, Ray Clements being a big one, Gordon Banks before that, many since then, Peter Shilton, David Seaman. Obviously Joe Hart's now comes to the fore. He's looking every bit fantastic goalkeeper. There's not many English goalkeepers in the top flight, and some would arguably say that goalkeeping at the moment is on a bit of a low, in that it's not, you know, for a kid now, it's not the sought after position. I suppose, firstly, would you agree with that? And if so, what can be done in order to get it back to where it could be?
Yeah, well, there's a few things. I don't know what the stats are, but you know, for every team in England or Wales or Scotland or whatever, there's a goalkeeper. Yeah. So the goalkeepers are there. I think people talk about the English Premier League. It's not the English Premier League anymore, it's the World Premier League. And what you have got is, people say, oh, well, there's not the English goalkeepers. There's not obviously as many as there used to be, or British goalkeepers, but what you have got is you've got the best from everywhere else. Yeah. You know, so the best that, you know, that has probably come out of, as an example, best out of America, you know, in terms of Brad and you know, Tim Howard, and we've got the Spanish lads that come over. We've had the best from France, obviously, with the likes of Barthez, and you know, we've had the best Scandinavian goalkeeper come over. And when you look at the actual stats for the amount of goalkeepers that have actually come over and made a real impact, I did a report a few years ago for the FA, looking at the last sort of 35 years, so since the mid-70s, and there was round about 300 goalkeepers, foreign goalkeepers have come over. Wow. And of that, I mean, it's quite alarming really, 40% of those particular goalkeepers hadn't played a single game, and I think it was close to 70% that hadn't played 20 league games. Oh, wow. You know, so it's one hell of a lot, really. So for everyone that does come over, there are lots that do come over and don't actually make it. But for the ones that do come over and don't make it, they take away the opportunity for a British goalkeeper. You know, so it's a catch-22. You know, the Premier League is one of the best in the world. We are going to get a pick of everyone coming over, but so it makes life difficult for lack of opportunity for our young English goalies. But the nice thing is, which I do every Sunday, 9 foreign goalkeepers played last weekend, which means that there were 63. In the Football League, Championship and Football League, there were 63 British goalies, and the majority were English. So there are plenty of English goalkeepers playing, but all they need is the opportunity to move up to the Premiership. And just as when Leicester went and signed Gordon Banks from Chesterfield, and Liverpool signed Ray Clements from Scunthorpe, and Pat Jennings went to Tottenham from Watford, that's what we need now. Is some of the big boys to go into the, you know, to the English Football League clubs. And
I suppose there are, you know, I agree in that there are obviously several very, very good goalkeepers in Championship and also League One, as I'm playing myself. That I guess are just waiting for that opportunity. So you wouldn't say necessarily a big issue lower down. It's more a case of just. It's
definitely lower down, because I was doing these stats 3 years ago when there were 16, 17 foreign goalkeepers featuring in the Football League. That's down to 9. Oh, right. You know, so it's going the right way, but still at the very top end. You know, if clubs have got all the money, you know, as much money as they want, they're going to go and buy the best. You know, the best out of Eastern Europe was Peter Cech, the best in Scandinavia was Schmeichel. You know, one of the best in Spain is obviously Pepe Reina and De Gea. You know, so that's football. That's the way it's going to be, and it's a bit unfortunate. We just hope that the young goalies get the opportunity. Joe Hart.
Of course. And I suppose Joe, his career, it's not necessarily a right or wrong way to do it, but speaking what we spoke about earlier in terms of going out and getting games, I suppose he's a great example of someone who got games in the lower leagues initially, and I mean he's however old he is now, 23.
He'd be 24 now, yeah.
24, and he must have played career games well over.
He'd probably be, I think he was running up to about 80 at Shrewsbury.
Yeah.
So yeah, he'd be
well up there, which is, you know, I suppose it's a great way to go. And I suppose touch on that, you've obviously worked with, you mentioned some of the ones earlier, England full squad, under 21s, etc. I guess if we could pick attributes from certain keepers to make the model goalkeeper, is there any standout attributes? And not only ones you've worked with, but I suppose you just mentioned Pepe Reina.
He would, you know, Pepe Reina would be up there. I think when people say to me about world-class goalies, I can look back over the years and think there's probably about a dozen for me that were absolutely world-class at different times in their careers, but they all had different qualities. You know, like with Gordon Bank, like people whose opinion I respect, you know, just said that he made the game look so simple.
Yeah.
You know, and then you had, you know, the likes of, you know, Ray Clemens was the first sweep keeper as such. But Ray's philosophy, even now, is prevention is better than cure.
Yeah.
So if you can organise people in front of you, that's far better than having to make the save. And Ray was absolutely fantastic in terms of his organisation and in terms of his concentration. You know, you wouldn't have anything to do at Liverpool, and then all of a sudden, in the last minute of the game, you'd need to do something, and he did it. Peter Shilton was probably the best, I think, the best defender of the goal in terms of as a reaction shot stopper and basically ability on keeping the ball out of the net. Peter Shilton is as good as there's ever been. Pat Jennings was just a one-off, you know, in that wasn't textbook. You know, Schmeichel we've talked about. Van der Sar, you know, is a fantastic technician, but had a wonderful temperament. And I think that temperament is the biggest part of Premier League football now. If you've got a suspect temperament, you won't last in the Premier League, regardless of how good a goalkeeper you are. I just think the pressures now at the very top end are immense, and that your temperament is a major part.